All right, so I've got some great things for you today. We want to talk about the recession, want to talk about a little bit about the economy and where real estate is heading. And obviously, if you've been following along, I've got some good information for you. I'll put up the links, but first, I've got a pet peeve. Just hold on. I'm testing out this new coffee. It's pretty good. So here's my thing. I see a lot of YouTubers go in and do these great videos on the housing crash, on the bubble, on all of this stuff. And then when you look into their description and then you look into the rest of the video, they're selling you gold, they're selling you coaching, they're selling you something. I'm not selling you anything. I don't want you to coach with me. I don't want you to buy gold. I don't sell gold. I don't want you to buy anything. I just want you to listen and use the data that I'm going into almost every day. Watch my other videos and just learn, because there is no housing crash as of right now. I don't want to sell you anything to convince you that I have the solution for you, because I don't. So, with that said, let's dive into actual data and let's interpret this together. Very first one, famed economist Robert Shiller says there's a good chance of a recession. Russ, yes, let's bring it, buddy. It's self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's the key right there, because as we scroll into it, I highlighted the specific areas. If you don't know who Robert Shiller is, Nobel laureate and Yale professor Robert Shiller said in a Bloomberg interview, and there's a link, I'll put it into YouTube, on Wednesday, that he believes there's a good chance, and that's over 50%, the US will experience a recession sometime over the next few years. I mean, that's very generalized. That's like me saying, hey, in the next few years, something bad's going to happen. All right, not bad. While there are many reasons behind the increasing chance of an economic downturn, from inflation to the war in Ukraine, Shiller said, and this is my favorite part of this, Shiller said that he believes a recession may become a self-fulfilling prophecy as consumers, investors, and companies prepare for the worst and slow down their spending. The fear, and I highlighted this in blue for you so you can just contemplate this. The fear can lead to actuality, the famed economist argued. I mean, how is that not true? Think of the things that you consistently think of, right? Even as humans, individuals, we have this reticular activating system that just identifies the things that we're continually thinking of, and then we see more of it. And if we keep on throwing out there that that the housing market is going to crash, that the US economy is going to tank, there is a reality to it. The fear can lead to actuality. I love that about this economist. And he's not the only one who said that. All throughout history, you can read about that. Now, most economists are more optimistic, but Shiller said rising consumer prices are wreaking havoc on average Americans' economic sentiment. Even after, look at this, even after the U.S. economy added 390,000 jobs in May. Take a look at where the economy is as far as unemployment, and it's low. It's very low. So take a look at that. Now, let's go a little further. On top of that, stark political polarization, yes, we see that. Post-traumatic stress disorder from the pandemic, yes, we see that too. And talks of a U.S. housing bubble are dampening consumer confidence in the economy, leading to increased odds of a recession, right? And you know what? There's a Facebook user, I don't see a name, but says people get rich in recession. Be people. I love that comment. Whoever the hell that was, that's a good point. If you look at the recession in real estate, just over the last 6 recessions, 4 of those had an up market in real estate. Those are the stats. Those are real data. And one of those that was terribly negative, that was 2008, where the fundamentals of the economy were completely broken. So let's pay attention to data. And when you see these YouTubers or these media outlets telling you that it's going to crash, we don't know. And all the data doesn't show that. So let me now go to this. After 7 straight quarters When Americans got richer, household net worth just fell by 500 million. That's concerning. This is a Fortune magazine article. I'll put it into the YouTube channel. Look what this says. If not for the hot housing market, the Fed said, the damage would have been even worse. A sizable $3 trillion decline in the value of stocks on the household balance sheet was partially offset by an increase of value of real estate, the central bank wrote. As 1.6 trillion gain in household equity and high rate of savings made for huge decline in equities. That's important to pay attention to because housing is something that people over a longer period of time have equity in their houses and they don't always pull out money there. They use that as a piggy bank. That's reality. About 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's sad and hurtful. Just reading that. That's according to a report by Loan Issuer Lending Club. This represents a 9% increase since last year. The wealthy are still able to splurge while lower income households spend less since government assistance and higher wages were pulled back, as pointed out by the Washington Post. That's important to pay attention to because inflation is also a big portion of this. Everything's costing a lot more, right? And so then I want to show you one last article that I've got here for you. I found that this one was really good as well, but it also relates to what we're talking about when it comes to the recession and what Mr. Shiller said, the economist said. All of this points to a broader weakness in the housing market. Buyers are officially spooked by rising interest rates. Just don't expect a real estate crash, right? Look at this. Buyers saying they are pushing off plans to purchase a home by as much as 6 to 12 months. Those are the buyers that were already looking. Obviously, the ones that are coming in now understand the market we're in and are still purchasing property. I highlighted some areas here. This is in blue. It's important because I have a question. It's the question that's being asked here. Does this mean that we're going to see a collapse the way we saw 15 years ago? Right? Let me just show you that. The answer is yes. No, of course not. There's no housing bubble. I keep on telling you the same damn thing. As of right now, there is no bubble. That can change, though. That's the thing. Pay attention to the data. Right? Even they say, hey, I would probably say no. In part because income is still strong, where incomes are strong, and there's still shortage of inventory. How many times do I have to keep on showing you that same graph and a new graph and the next graph that show you that inventory is significantly low? It's just like 2.5 months. There's just a high demand. And people will show you data that they think they're piecing together to show you how inventory is actually significantly much higher and the demand isn't there. Well, that's not true. Look at the data for yourself. This is why I go through this. And I'm not selling you a t-shirt or coaching or gold. Remember that. Home prices have correspondingly started to rebalance. That's true. We're heading into a more normal market. That's reality. CoreLogic expects annual home price appreciation to slow. You see that it's still appreciation. Appreciation to slow to 5.6% by April 2023. That's what it reported June 7th. That's what, 2 days ago? And they did adjust. Why did they adjust? Look, compare that to 21% annual increase in housing prices at 2022. Yeah, that was massive. But here's the thing. You're going to find companies adjust as new data comes out. We don't know if we're in a recession. Some people are saying we are. Some people are saying we're not. Shiller says, hey, maybe in the next 2-3 years, maybe, I don't know. And that's because we don't have enough data and we don't know where the consumer is headed as well. How long will the war last? How much will it affect us? Some great stuff here as well. Look, at the end of the day, it comes down to demand. Because like I said yesterday, 5.5%, slightly less, but 5.5% interest rate on a mortgage is still lower than inflation. Think about that. Yes, it did increase super rapidly to 5.5 over the span of what? A month and a half? But still, it's maintained that level. And if the Fed doesn't freak anybody out and raise rates more than they said they would, that rate for mortgages should remain around there as well. So look, use the data that I'm putting here. Ask me any questions. I love all of the comments here, by the way. Bill, dude, thank you for the great comments. And look, any opinions that you have, please throw them on here. I love doing the research and the data because that's what keeps us going here. This is reality. We're not living in a fictitious world of 2008. This isn't 2008 again. So pay attention to what's happening on a daily basis because things can change. Hope you're having an awesome day. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. I'll put up the links to the 3 articles that I showed. Have an awesome day, everybody. And this coffee's pretty good, man. Modern Times coffee. Pretty good. And I'm not selling coffee either.